A man is standing in his basement with a sledgehammer. He isn't looking for anything. He just wants a bigger room. He swings. The wall gives way, and out of the hole comes cold air. Moving air. Air that has come from somewhere. It is 1963. The town is Derinkuyu in central Turkey. The man is renovating his house, a normal job on a normal week. Behind his wall, there is a passage. He finds a torch. He goes in. The passage doesn't stop. It goes down. He is walking under his own house, in a tunnel he didn't know was there, in a town where nobody knew it was there. And then the tunnel opens. Underneath that man's basement is a city, not a cellar, not a crypt, a city, 18 levels, around 85 meters deep. Take a 20-story building and drive it straight down into the ground. Stables, wine presses, kitchens with the soot still on the ceilings, storerooms, chapels, a school with barrel-vaulted ceilings, wells, graves, room for 20,000 people with their animals and their food. And the town on top had been living over it for generations without knowing. So here is the question underneath all of this. How do you lose a city that size? Hold on to it. It has an answer. Start with the rock. Cappadocia is built on volcanic ash compressed into a stone called tuff. Underground, tuff is soft. You can cut it with hand tools, but expose it to air and it hardens. So the deeper you dig, the stronger the walls become. The rock does the engineering for you. It's almost an invitation. And they took it. There are more than 200 underground settlements across this region. Around 40 go down 3 levels or more. Derinkuyu is the biggest anyone has excavated. It is not the only one. There is a tunnel from Derinkuyu to the next city over. It runs 5 kilometers. These were not hiding places. This was a network. Now go down to the passages between the levels. They are narrow, single file, low enough that you have to stoop. That is not bad design. That is the design. If you have to bend to walk, you cannot swing a sword. If you can only come one at a time, one defender is enough. And at intervals along these corridors sit the doors. A stone wheel. 1.5 meters across, half a ton of rock. It rolls out of a recess in the wall and seals the tunnel completely. Here is the detail that stays with you. It only moves from the inside. No handle on the outer face, no mechanism, no purchase. If you are standing on the wrong side of that stone, there is nothing you can do to it. And there is a hole through the center of the wheel. You can see through it. You can also put a spear through it. So picture the arithmetic. The people who cut these doors sat down and worked out the shape of a thing that stops a man who is already inside your tunnel. They had thought about it, in detail. But before we ask why, look at what else is down there. Because a hiding place is a hole, this is not a hole. There are more than 50 ventilation shafts. Some drop 55 meters. 15,000 smaller ducts branch off them and carry fresh air to every level, all the way to the bottom. The stables are near the top. Livestock don't need to go deep. The air stays cleaner. The shafts double as wells, and some of those wells do not connect to the surface at all. Sit with that. They built water sources that could not be reached from above, deliberately, sealed away from the world. Because if somebody up there knows you are down here and they cannot get through the doors, there is one thing left they can do to you. They can poison your water. So they thought about that too. This isn't a panic room. This is a machine for surviving a siege you have already predicted. Which brings us to who built it. Nobody is completely sure. The likeliest answer is the Phrygians in the 8th or 7th century before Christ. Some argue the Hittites got here first. The evidence is thin, and honest historians say so. But we have one thing. Around 370 BC, the Greek soldier Xenophon marched an army back through this region and wrote about it. He described the people of Anatolia living underground, in dwellings cut into rock, large enough for a family and their animals. He mentioned it in passing, the way you'd mention a bus route. By the time a Greek general is writing it down as an unremarkable fact of local life, It is already old. And here is what turns this story over. It was never finished. The Phrygians started it. Early Christians drove it deeper and hid from Rome in it. When the Arab raids came, they went down again. When the Mongols came, they went down again. 3,000 years, every generation cutting a little further into the rock, every generation adding a door. So what were they hiding from? That's the wrong question. It assumes there was one thing. There wasn't. There was Rome, then the Arab armies, then the Mongols, then the Ottomans, and then, at the Ver,